For over 20 years, Gunsmoke captivated viewers, immersing them in the rugged life of the Old West and becoming a staple of American television. Despite its widespread popularity, the show suddenly disappeared from screens, not due to loss of fans, but because of a single controversial scene that ignited a firestorm of criticism across the nation. This scene challenged the traditional boundaries of what was considered acceptable on television and led to heated debates about morality, censorship, and artistic freedom. The outcry was so intense that it not only ended Gunsmoke's run, but also triggered a broader discussion about the limits of entertainment and the responsibilities of broadcasters. The incident became a turning point, shaping how television producers approach sensitive content and redefining the line between free expression and social propriety. The scene in question remains a defining moment, remembered as the one that changed television history forever. Leaving aside any need for introductions, Gunsmoke started as a radio series before it became a television show in 1955. The radio program was known for its more authentic and gritty depiction of life on the American frontier, setting it apart from older, more romanticized westerns. Because it was on radio, it relied heavily on dialogue and sound effects to create vivid images in people's minds, giving a sense of the rough realities faced by those living in that era. When the show moved to television, it retained much of this raw and realistic tone, which appealed to viewers who wanted a more genuine portrayal of frontier life. The central figure of the series was Marshal Matt Dillon, played by James Arness. Dillon was a complex character, tough but compassionate, firm but fair, with vulnerabilities that made him feel real to the audience. He was often faced with difficult choices, balancing law and order with the understanding that people on the frontier were not perfect. Arness' portrayal helped shape the character into an American icon, representing justice, strength, and empathy intertwined with human imperfection. The show's focus on realistic characters and stories earned it a lasting place in television history, as viewers connected deeply with Matt Dillon and the gritty world he fought to keep safe. Gunsmoke's blend of realism and character depth made it stand out among Western shows and cemented its legacy as a classic. Gunsmoke featured a strong supporting cast that added richness and depth to the stories and characters. Amanda Blake played Miss Kitty, the town's saloon owner, who was not only a friendly face but also a strong, independent woman who carried her own responsibilities and showed compassion to many in the town. Milburn Stone portrayed Doc Adams, a trusted doctor who understood the importance of helping others and often provided wisdom and guidance. Dennis Weaver played Chester Good, the dependable deputy whose kindness and sense of justice made him a key character in the community. Ken Curtis starred as Festus Hagen, a rough but good-hearted character who brought humor and a unique perspective to the series. Each of these actors brought their characters to life with talent and dedication, making the town of Dodge City feel real and alive. Their interactions with the main characters and their roles in shaping the stories created a dynamic environment that kept viewers engaged. The supporting cast performances contributed significantly to the show's enduring popularity and the lasting influence of Gunsmoke in television history. Starting from its debut, Gunsmoke captured audiences with more than just gunfights and rugged landscapes. It attracted viewers through its deep exploration of human nature and moral dilemmas. The show portrayed life in Dodge City, a tough frontier town, but it was not just about the violence or excitement. Instead, it looked closely at the choices people made and what those choices said about morality, justice, and survival. The characters, especially Marshal Matt Dillon, were not perfect heroes but complex individuals trying to navigate a difficult world. Over time, the series grew to reflect more than just the Old West action. It became a window into human nature, showing how people struggle with right and wrong, loyalty, and compassion in harsh conditions. As television moved into the 1960s, Gunsmoke responded by shifting to hour-long episodes, allowing for more detailed stories and character development. It also started to include more socially relevant topics, such as issues of race, justice, and community, making it more meaningful and relatable to viewers. This evolution helped Gunsmoke stay popular even as other Western shows faded away. It remained a show that not only entertained, but also made people think about what it means to be human in tough circumstances. In 1955, Gunsmoke captivated audiences with its portrayal of life on the American frontier, becoming a beloved and influential television series. However, a particular scene marked a turning point for the show. This scene was unlike anything seen before in television at the time, because it featured an unprecedented level of violence combined with deep emotional and psychological intensity. The scene was not just about physical violence, it also explored darker themes that disturbed viewers and critics alike. It pushed boundaries and forced the audience to confront the harsher realities of life in the West, including the brutality and trauma that people face daily. The impact of this scene was so strong that it sparked widespread debate, with many feeling it was too intense for television audiences of that era. As a result, the controversy surrounding this moment led to the show's cancellation, marking a significant turning point in television history. The scene's power lay in its ability to evoke strong emotional reactions and make viewers think about the darker sides of human nature and frontier life, leaving a lasting impression that would be remembered long after the show ended. This moment remains a poignant example of how television can challenge perceptions and reflect uncomfortable truths, even at the risk of losing a popular scene. When the scene from Gunsmoke aired in 1955, it immediately sparked a flurry of reactions from viewers across the country. Many praised the show for its daring and realistic portrayal of life in the Old West, viewing the scene as a sign of bold storytelling that did not shy away from tough topics. These fans appreciated the show's willingness to confront difficult issues and felt it added depth to the series. On the other hand, a significant portion of the audience felt the scene went too far, seeing it as a betrayal of the show's original values of morality and decency. They argued that television should not depict unregulated violence, especially considering that children and impressionable viewers might be watching. As news of the controversy spread, newspapers and radio programs picked up on the story, amplifying the debate. Advocacy groups and media watchdogs quickly became involved, raising alarms about the dangerous effects of violent content on young audiences. They claimed that television had a powerful influence, and that such scenes could encourage aggressive behavior or desensitize viewers to violence. This incident led to calls for stricter regulation and attention to the kind of material shown on television, sparking a broader conversation about the role of media and its impact on society. The controversy remained a hot topic in discussions about media responsibility and the influence it wielded over viewers of all ages. In 1955, the television series Gunsmoke became a focal point of intense national debate, sparking widespread outrage that went well beyond the show's stories of the Old West. This outcry reflected a broader concern among many Americans about the increasing presence of violent content on television and the potential influence it could have on viewers, especially among parents, religious groups, and community leaders who worried about the moral fabric of society. As the show gained popularity, so did the criticism from those who believed that violent scenes or themes could foster aggressive behavior or desensitize audiences to violence. The backlash put CBS, the network airing Gunsmoke, in a difficult dilemma. On one hand, the show was popular and had a dedicated audience that appreciated its gritty storytelling and authentic portrayal of frontier life. On the other hand, pressure from the public and influential groups made it clear that continuing to air such content might be seen as irresponsible or harmful. CBS faced the challenge of protecting its creative freedom and maintaining its reputation while also addressing the mounting fears of its viewers and advertisers who did not want their products associated with violence or controversial programming. This situation forced the network into complex negotiations, often leading to discussions about how to modify or restrict content without compromising the show's integrity. The controversy surrounding Gunsmoke in 1955 highlighted the fragile balance television networks had to maintain during this period as they navigated the evolving standards of morality and entertainment, all while responding to a society that was increasingly concerned about the effects of television violence. CBS executives found themselves in intense internal debates over the fate of Gunsmoke, a show that had become more than just a television series. It had transformed into a cultural institution recognized nationwide. Some executives believed the show should continue because it brought in a dedicated audience and contributed to CBS' reputation as a home for quality programming. Others worried about the rising costs associated with production, which were substantial, and questioned whether the show still fit into the network's future plans. The conversations reflected a deeper concern about the impact of canceling a show with such a historical significance, as many understood that its end could create a lasting void in American television history. Despite these emotional and cultural considerations, financial factors ultimately overshadowed them. As the costs of producing Gunsmoke increased, so too did the negative press that started to surface, highlighting issues such as rising expenses and declining ad revenue. Advertisers, who were crucial for network profits, began pulling back because of the negative publicity and a shift in audience preferences. This reduction in advertising income made it financially unsustainable for CBS to keep Gunsmoke on air, and the executives weighed these economic realities heavily in their decision-making process. The tension between preserving a beloved piece of television history and managing the network's financial health led to the difficult choice to cancel Gunsmoke, marking the end of an era for the long-running series. After Gunsmoke was canceled, many fans felt a deep sense of loss because the show had become more than just a TV series. It was a part of their daily lives and a window into the Old West that they had grown up watching and trusting. These viewers had formed strong emotional bonds with characters like Marshal Matt Dillon and Miss Kitty, and sudden news of its end left many feeling surprised and disappointed. The show's sudden cancellation became a topic of conversation among fans everywhere and sparked a lot of emotional reactions, reflecting just how much the series had influenced and connected with its audience over the years. This reaction among viewers didn't go unnoticed, and it caused a ripple effect through the television industry. The controversy surrounding Gunsmoke was a wake-up call for networks and producers, highlighting the importance of understanding what audiences valued and expected from their favorite shows. Industry insiders began to realize that viewer loyalty was rooted not only in entertainment, but also in the credibility and values conveyed by the content. As a result, networks started to pay closer attention to what was being broadcast, establishing new guidelines and standards to shape programming that resonated more positively with viewers. Because of these changes, the television industry became more aware of its influence and responsibility to its audience. The Gunsmoke controversy, therefore, contributed to transforming television from simply a source of entertainment into a medium that considered societal impacts and audience reactions more seriously. These shifts helped pave the way for a more thoughtful, regulated approach to storytelling on TV, which in turn affected future shows and the overall landscape of American television. The legacy of Gunsmoke's cancellation reminds everyone how powerful audience reactions can be and how they can influence the development of the entire. After the controversy surrounding the cancellation of Gunsmoke in 1955, a significant shift occurred in how television content was viewed and regulated. The debate spurred the development of a content rating system for television shows, similar to the one used by the film industry. This system was created to help viewers, especially parents, understand what kind of content they could expect from a program. By providing clear indications of violence, language, or mature themes, the ratings aimed to give audiences more control over what they watched, and to prevent surprises that might cause discomfort or outrage. This development marked a turning point because it made the industry more aware of its audience and the impact of storylines on viewers. The controversy also influenced how writers and producers approached their storytelling. Before the rating system, many shows pushed the boundaries of what was acceptable on TV, often including daring themes, character actions, and dialogue. However, after Gunsmoke's cancellation and the subsequent public debate, there was a tendency to adopt safer, more conventional narratives. Writers became more cautious about including controversial content, preferring to create stories that would appeal to a broader audience without risking further backlash or censorship. This shift resulted in a more standardized kind of storytelling in the industry, where themes and characters were designed to stay within accepted limits, focusing more on moral lessons and family-friendly messages. The whole incident underscored the importance of balancing entertainment with social responsibility, prompting the industry to think more carefully about what was appropriate for television. It also raised public awareness of how media can influence societal values and attitudes. As a result, the 1950s saw a gradual move towards more regulated content, with ratings helping guide viewers and protect vulnerable audiences. This process set the stage for future debates about censorship, artistic freedom, and the role of television in shaping culture. Gunsmoke's controversy thus played a pivotal role in shaping the policies and storytelling styles that would define television in the decades that followed. Gunsmoke, which started in 1955, remains a significant part of television history despite its controversial ending. It was one of the first TV shows to really push the boundaries of how Western stories were told on screen. Instead of focusing only on gunfights and heroics, Gunsmoke offered viewers a more detailed and realistic picture of life in the Old West. It showcased complicated characters who faced moral dilemmas and often struggled with the tough realities of frontier life. This depth made it stand out from earlier, simpler Western shows that mainly emphasize law and order or heroism. Gunsmoke's influence can be seen today in many modern Western series, such as Deadwood, which explores the darker side of frontier towns, Justified, which emphasizes complex characters caught in moral conflicts, and Westworld, which delves into the complexities of human nature in a Western-inspired setting. These contemporary shows continue the tradition Gunsmoke started by exploring the moral ambiguity and harsh realities of Western life, making the genre richer and more meaningful for viewers. Its legacy is not just in entertainment, but also in how it shaped the way Western stories are told on television, encouraging deeper character development and more realistic portrayals of life on the frontier. Gunsmoke, the popular television series that first aired in 1955, had a profound impact on American culture and society. The show resonated with audiences of different generations, helping to shape their views of American history and identity. It portrayed the rough, rugged life of the Old West, including the struggles of lawmen, outlaws, and townspeople. Through its stories, viewers gained a sense of the challenges faced by those living during that time, and saw values like bravery, honesty, and justice reflected in the characters. The show's influence extended beyond entertainment. It helped reinforce ideas about frontier justice and America's pioneering spirit. However, the series faced a turning point due to a controversial scene that stirred debate among viewers and critics alike. Many believe that if not for this scene, Gunsmoke might have continued for several more seasons. A longer run could have allowed the show to explore even deeper and more intricate themes, adding new layers of complexity to its storytelling. It might have introduced more diverse characters and storylines, reflecting the evolving American landscape. The series' cultural significance is evident in how it helped define the Western genre on television and left a lasting impression that continues to be felt today. Gunsmoke's legacy raises thoughts about the potential stories and character arcs that could have been developed if that controversy had not interrupted its journey. The idea of what might have been fuels ongoing discussions among fans and historians who cherish its role in television history. As the series Gunsmoke continues to be remembered, discussions often focus on the potential future themes and unfinished storylines that might have been explored if the show had extended beyond its original run. Imagining these next chapters, it is easy to see how the show could have reflected the rapid changes in American society during that era. Future seasons might have delved into the impact of industrialization on the small frontier towns, showing how new technologies and industries began transforming the landscape and the daily lives of the people. The decline of the traditional cowboy and frontier spirit could have been explored through new characters and conflicts, highlighting the clash between old ways and new ideas. Stories could have also looked at the social changes, such as the growth of towns, changes in law enforcement, and the evolving roles of women and minorities in the West, giving viewers a deeper understanding of how the American West was evolving beyond the days of cowboys and outlaws. However, the show's abrupt ending left many fans with a sense of curiosity and longing, as numerous storylines and character arcs remained unresolved. The unresolved mysteries and open-ended characters continue to contribute to Gunsmoke's mystique, fostering ongoing interest in what might have been if the series had continued. For fans and historians alike, this unfinished narrative story adds to the enduring appeal of Gunsmoke, illustrating how a show can leave a lasting legacy through what it chooses to leave open-ended. The speculation about future themes and storylines remains a testament to the show's significance in depicting the changing American frontier and the complexities of a transforming society. After Gunsmoke was canceled in 1975, many people saw it as the end of the Western genre on television. For many years, Gunsmoke was one of the most popular shows, and it helped define what Western TV shows could be. However, when it left the air, viewers' tastes started to change. More and more audiences began to enjoy crime dramas, comedies, and science fiction shows. This shift meant that networks no longer focused on Westerns, which had been so common in earlier decades. The Western genre was once full of stories about cowboys, outlaws, and frontier life, but people's interest moved toward contemporary or futuristic stories. As Gunsmoke and similar shows disappeared, Westerns became less common on TV. This change marked a new chapter in television history, with other genres taking center stage. Since then, Westerns have had occasional revivals, but they haven't returned to the same level of popularity as before. The cancellation of Gunsmoke is often seen as a turning point that signaled the decline of the Western style in media and entertainment. Audience preferences played a big role in this shift, and the cultural landscape of television transformed from frontier tales to stories about crime, humor, and future worlds. The Western genre's decline reflects how what viewers want can change over time, reshaping the kinds of stories that are told on TV. Gunsmoke was more than just a television show. It was a cultural touchstone that defined an era of American television and set a high standard for storytelling in the Western genre. The show aired starting in 1955 and quickly became one of the most popular programs of its time. Its success was due in part to its ability to portray the life of the Old West with honesty and depth, rejecting the simplified hero versus villain stories common in earlier Westerns. Instead, Gunsmoke focused on complex characters who faced moral dilemmas, reflecting the real challenges people faced in the frontier towns. The show's main character, Marshal Matt Dillon, was portrayed as a fair but firm lawman who had to balance justice with mercy, embodying the moral ambiguity that added realism to the stories. The series also explored themes such as justice, morality, and human weakness, making it more than just entertainment. It was an exploration of American values and conflicts. Its storytelling techniques, including detailed character development and realistic portrayals of violence and hardship, influenced many television dramas that followed. Gunsmoke's approach to serious storytelling in the Western genre helped elevate the medium and showed that television could handle complex, mature themes while still appealing to broad audiences. The show's influence is seen in how later drama series adopted more nuanced characters, moral complexity, and storytelling depth. By setting these standards, Gunsmoke left a lasting mark on television history and helped shape the way Western stories are told in the medium. Since its debut in 1955, Gunsmoke has stood as a shining example of what television could do when it was willing to explore complex and often controversial issues. The show didn't just focus on entertainment, it challenged social norms and presented stories that made viewers think about morality, justice, and human nature. By doing this, Gunsmoke pushed the boundaries of what could be shown on TV in that time period. It opened the door for other shows to follow, encouraging them to tackle difficult topics with honesty and depth. The series is considered a timeless masterpiece because it did more than entertain. It created a lasting impression on audiences. Its themes of justice and survival, along with the moral ambiguity of characters and situations, helped the show stay relevant even today. Many people still watch reruns and find meaning in its stories. The show's ability to reflect real-life struggles in a way that remains meaningful makes it special. In this way, Gunsmoke set a standard for future television, proving that great stories could be both provocative and lasting. Its influence can be seen in many later shows that continue to challenge viewers and push creative limits on what television can do. The series' enduring popularity proves that its impact goes beyond its original run and continues to inspire television creators and audiences alike. As cable television gained popularity in the 1970s, it brought about a significant shift in how viewers experienced entertainment. This period coincided with the end of the long-running series Gunsmoke, a show that had become a staple of television since its debut in 1955. The expansion of cable channels meant that more options were available to audiences, allowing for a wider variety of programs that explored different genres and storytelling styles. The traditional format of weekly episodes with limited options was gradually replaced by channels offering continuous, diverse programming, which changed the way stories were told on television. As the 1980s and beyond progressed, cable television continued to evolve, introducing viewers to new types of shows with complex characters and layered narratives. Meanwhile, the emergence of streaming services such as Netflix and Hulu further transformed television consumption. These platforms have made it possible for new generations to discover classic shows like Gunsmoke, which can be watched at any time instead of waiting for a weekly airing. Binge watching became a common way to enjoy series, changing the experience from appointment viewing to flexible, on-demand entertainment. Streaming services have also preserved many older shows, allowing viewers to explore the history of television and appreciate programs that shaped the medium. This new accessibility has expanded the reach of classic series and contributed to the ongoing evolution of television storytelling, making it more inclusive and adaptable to changing viewer habit. Many people find comfort and joy in watching reruns of Gunsmoke, a TV series that first aired in 1955. This show has remained popular over the years because it taps into the power of nostalgia. Nostalgia creates a special feeling by taking viewers back to a time when life seemed simpler, and it offers a sense of familiarity that many find soothing, especially in a world that is constantly changing. Watching Gunsmoke allows viewers to connect with stories and characters from long ago, giving them a chance to relive or experience a piece of history and culture. Over time, society's values and ideas have changed, prompting a reevaluation of classic shows like Gunsmoke. When viewed from today's perspective, people notice things they might not have seen before, such as the themes, morals, and social attitudes present in the show. This reevaluation brings a deeper understanding of its cultural significance and helps recognize its impact on the development of television. Shows like Gunsmoke not only served as entertainment, but also reflected the values, struggles, and everyday life of the time when it was made. Today, people look back at Gunsmoke with a new perspective, seeing it as a window into the past and a stepping stone in the evolution of TV storytelling. The continued reruns and discussions about Gunsmoke remind everyone of its lasting influence and how it shaped the television world we know today. The nostalgia connected to Gunsmoke keeps it relevant, and re-examining it allows viewers to appreciate its role, both historically and culturally, adapting to the values of each new generation. Since its debut in 1955, Gunsmoke has left a lasting mark on television, shaping how stories about the Old West are told today. Its storytelling approach, with strong, complex characters and moral dilemmas, set a standard for many modern dramas. Shows that focus on law, order, and personal integrity often draw inspiration from Gunsmoke's way of blending drama with realistic portrayal of frontier life. Its influence can be seen not only in the themes it explored, but also in how it engaged audiences by presenting compelling stories that made viewers think about justice, morality, and human nature. Many contemporary series, especially those set in historical or rural settings, pay homage to Gunsmoke by adopting similar storytelling techniques or character archetypes, keeping the spirit of the original alive through different styles and formats. The series is also remembered for its iconic theme song, composed by Jerry Goldsmith. The music immediately evokes the atmosphere of the Old West, with a simple yet powerful melody that captures the ruggedness and unpredictability of frontier life. This theme song has become one of the most recognizable pieces of television music, influencing how future shows approach their musical scores. Its emotional tone, blending storytelling with musical mood, helps set a high standard for television music composition, demonstrating that a memorable theme can become part of a show's identity. Over the years, the melody remains a symbol of the Western genre, reminding viewers of the timeless qualities of justice, resilience, and adventure that Gunsmoke embodies. In 1955, Gunsmoke established itself not only as a groundbreaking television series, but also as a show that understood the power of music and storytelling. The musical score of Gunsmoke played a critical role in shaping the overall atmosphere of the series and significantly contributed to its emotional depth. By carefully selecting and integrating music, the show was able to transport viewers directly into the rugged world of Dodge City, creating a sense of authenticity and immersing audiences in the stories of good and evil, justice and lawlessness. The music often underscored tense moments, adding weight to conflicts and heightening suspense, while softer melodies highlighted moments of reflection and emotional vulnerability. This thoughtful use of music helped viewers connect more deeply with the characters and the narrative. The success of Gunsmoke's musical approach set a standard in television production, demonstrating that soundtracks are not just background noise, but a vital tool for storytelling. Its influence extended beyond its own era, inspiring future shows to pay closer attention to their use of music as a means to deepen emotional engagement and atmosphere. Gunsmoke's innovative approach proved that music can be more than just an accompaniment. It can shape the viewer's experience and understanding of a story. The impact of its musical score on television storytelling remained influential, shaping how sound and music are used to create mood, develop characters, and enhance narrative for decades. Many fans of Gunsmoke have kept its memory alive even decades after it first aired in 1955. These fans form strong communities that come together through fan clubs, conventions, and online forums. They share stories, pictures, and memorabilia, showing how much they love the show and how important it is to them. These gatherings often include discussions about favorite episodes, characters, and actors, and some fans even dress up as their favorite figures from the series. The dedication of these fans helps keep the spirit of Gunsmoke alive for new generations to discover. The show's deep connection with its viewers created a true cult following, meaning that fans feel a strong sense of loyalty and pride in being part of its legacy. Their efforts to celebrate and promote Gunsmoke through various activities demonstrate how much they value it and want to honor its place in television history. This ongoing fan contribution helps ensure that Gunsmoke is remembered and appreciated long after it ended, making it an enduring part of popular culture. Fans' dedication, whether through collecting memorabilia or participating in online discussions, shows the powerful bond between the show and its audience. Their passion keeps the stories, characters, and spirit of Gunsmoke alive, continuing the show's influence in the realm of classic television. Since the digital preservation of classic shows like Gunsmoke is so important, it helps keep these programs alive for future generations. Without such preservation, many shows could be lost as technology and formats change. Gunsmoke, which started in 1955, was one of the earliest television series to depict life in the Old West with realism and depth. Its stories focused on themes such as justice, morality, and community, often using compelling characters like Marshall Dillon and Miss Kitty. Though the show has not been rebooted or remade in recent times, its storytelling style and character development have influenced many modern westerns and dramas. Creators of today's TV often draw from Gunsmoke's legacy by using similar narrative techniques, character archetypes, and moral dilemmas. The influence can be seen in how modern Western series portray law and order, personal values, and the frontier environment, echoing Gunsmoke's style of storytelling. Even though tech trends push for new shows and fresh ideas, the roots of many modern westerns trace back to the storytelling traditions established by Gunsmoke. As TV history is preserved digitally, these stories continue to inform and inspire new generations of writers and viewers, cementing Gunsmoke as a foundational piece of television history that still shapes the genre today. Gunsmoke's 20-year run left an indelible mark on both the entertainment industry and American culture, demonstrating television's power to challenge and provoke its audience. Over 2 decades, the show became a staple in households across the country, creating a vivid picture of life in the American West through stories about Marshal Matt Dillon and the people he protected and served. Its portrayal of moral dilemmas, justice, and human nature resonated deeply with viewers, encouraging reflection on the values and struggles of frontier life. Gunsmoke helped to elevate the Western genre from simple adventure stories to complex narratives that explored human character and social issues, making it more than just entertainment. Despite the decline of the Western genre's dominance on television, the influence of Gunsmoke remains significant today. It set a standard for storytelling and character development that many modern shows draw upon. The themes and characters introduced in Gunsmoke continue to inspire new works of art that delve into the complexities of the American West, highlighting its enduring appeal. Its long-lasting impact is seen not only in the many follow-up television dramas, but also in how it shaped the way audiences understand and appreciate the history and mythology of the Old West. Although times have changed and audiences favor different genres, the legacy of Gunsmoke continues to resonate, reminding us of the powerful stories that emerged from that rugged and often romanticized landscape. While reflecting on the media landscape's challenges and conclusion, Gunsmoke's story offers a timeless reminder that producing great television involves a careful balance between creative freedom and social responsibility. During its original run starting in 1955, Gunsmoke showcased a realistic portrayal of life in the American West, often tackling complex themes such as justice, morality, and community. It demonstrated how storytelling can be both entertaining and thought-provoking, encouraging viewers to think about important social issues within a fictional context. However, achieving this balance was not without difficulties, as broadcasters had to navigate censorship, audience expectations, and societal norms of the time. These challenges continue today, as media creators strive to produce content that remains true to artistic vision while respecting diverse audience sensitivities. Gunsmoke's enduring popularity exemplifies how television can serve multiple purposes, from entertainment to education and reflection. Its influence reminds us that TV shows can shape perceptions, spark conversations, and inspire change when thoughtfully developed. As a result, Gunsmoke has secured its place as a cherished part of American television history, reflecting the ongoing importance of balancing artistic expression with social impact. Its legacy underscores that great television remains relevant long after its initial broadcast, proving that storytelling has the power to endure through changing times.